Welcome back to the Green Means Go channel. It's your host, me. Just polished off some coffee. Starbucks cold brew, little 2% milk, and some cold foam. So I'm feeling a little jazzed, and I woke up this morning to Shane Gillis's ESPYs opening monologue. He is a stand-up comedian, and so his job was to loosen up the crowd, get people excited for the night of awards, and to do so with comedy. And I want to be the first to say that I love a good comedy. I love jokes, and I think jokes are very important. And with jokes, there is a line that should and should not be pushed. We can start there. And this is not going to be some philosophical analysis of what good comedy versus bad comedy is, but I think good comedy punches up. Good comedy calls out things in the world that are wrong. That's what jokes and comedy should be. It should be looking at the inconsistencies in our world and pointing them out with humor and drawing light to them with irony so that we can maybe acknowledge those things as bad and maybe make changes. Like, that's what good comedy does. And so I watched Shane Gillis's entire monologue, and, I realized that my opinions on this can be viewed and are going to be viewed by many as soft or no sense of humor or something that criticizes my analysis or even critique of Shane Gillis's monologue last night. But I think it's important to talk about because I was a little shocked when I watched this. The clips are out there if you want to go find them. I have the monologue pulled up just because it's easier to read through and comment on them. There's obviously varying degrees within this monologue of severity in terms of what was appropriate or inappropriate or too far or whatever. And I'm not here to necessarily give you a full breakdown on all of those things. There were parts of this monologue that were entertaining, that were topical, that were funny. But then there were some other things that I'm like, we're past this. I made a quick video this morning kind of recapping it on TikTok, and I said, this felt like 2010 Daniel Tosh was up there. And I don't think there's anything, objectively wrong with that, but I think our culture has changed in the last 15 years. Humor has changed in the last 15 years, and what is appropriate and inappropriate and accepted in society has progressed, I think, and for the better. So I was just shocked when I heard some of these things, and especially how he got started. So we'll go ahead and look through here. He made a joke first about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Everybody sitting around him is in foul trouble, right? That's fine. And then his second joke, the second thing he said, Megan Rapinoe could not make it tonight. Nice. And nobody laughed because that's awkward. Like, the second thing you do is you make fun of one of the most notable women athletes. And the crowd we're going to imagine is 30 to 50% women athletes. So you kind of take this trailblazer of women athletics, at least in the 21st century, in terms of fighting for equal pay, fighting for recognition, fighting for equal rights, and you dismiss her as an individual. And so when he says, no, right, we're not going to pretend she's a good time, like, you're doubling down on the fact that you don't appreciate Megan Rapinoe. You don't have to like her, but to punch down, so to speak, and to make fun of a prominent figure in women's athletics to a group of women athletes, like, of course they didn't laugh. Like, that's a little awkward. And I think the difference is, Megan Rapinoe isn't someone who is out here trying to stand for something ridiculous, right? Like, she's has been actively in her career trying to make a change for what she believes in and what she's poured her life into. And so to criticize that and her is a bit bizarre. There was a comment about John Jones and Nate Diaz and having a couple drinks and being terrified. Didn't quite understand that. Donald Trump wants us to stage a UFC fight. Last time he did that, Mike Pence almost died. Don't quite get the reference there. Actually, there was supposed to be an Epstein joke here, but it got deleted. Must have been deleted. Maybe it never existed. Okay, so there is a joke that I can get behind, right? Like the fact that the Epstein files are being taken from the public and not published and not, even though we were told they were, right? Because we can assume that Donald Trump's name appears in them. That is a big issue. Like the Epstein files, now you're making jokes. Now you're making comedy. Now you're making us think about this as a joke, but also say, dang, yeah, like we can't have the Epstein. That's kind of messed up, right? Like drawing attention to that, fine. Okay. Goes on. Carl Anthony Towns is here. Hey, girl. So again, kind of immediate. Oh, sorry. Why is that not? Oh, I scrolled down too far. My apologies. Carl Anthony Towns is here. Hey, girl. Like making fun of Carl Anthony Towns being a little more feminine, I guess. Like there's these rumors, people saying Carl Anthony Towns is zesty, is gay and all this. It's just like, to me, that's low. Like that's a low bar of comedy. Like, haha. It's like Caleb Williams paints his nails. Okay. Like, oh, Jared McCain, have you seen his nail polish? Oh, he's doing the TikTok dances. Like, who cares? Right? Like, we can't accept that not all men are I don't know. It just was odd. Max Crosby is here. Max, hope you had a good Juneteenth. Brother, talking about how maybe Max Crosby, how do you say? He is highly associated with black culture. I don't, maybe he said in the past that I don't know the deal there. I recognize what he's trying to say. And then here we go, right? This was the start of something that I really think within the first few minutes of your opening monologue, you go with this. And this just feels like it's just not funny, right? 4-time WNBA star Brittany Hicks is here. Give it up for Brittany, everybody. I'm joking. That's my friend's wife. I knew none of you knew NBA players. And like if you're a WNBA player sitting there in the audience, like all that is a direct attack on you. It's not funny. Like there's nothing about that from the perspective of the WNBA player, from the perspective of a woman athlete. Like, haha, nobody watches your sport. Right? Here we are at an event. Like the context of this event is to celebrate athletes, celebrate these groups of people across different sports, to come together and say, hey guys, we are one in this. We all kind of are after the same mission. We're here to entertain the public. We're here to, give to the world an escape from their jobs, from their life. Like that's what sports are. And like in two things of mentioning women's athletics, it's a negative analysis of it. Right? Haha, nobody watches the WNBA guys, am I right? Yeah, nobody watches that. Nobody watches women's sports. Like that's what he's saying. And it's just like, it's weird. And so to expect an audience of female athletes to just start laughing at that. And he keeps making these comments like, oh, I didn't write this. Oh, oh, this is awkward. Nobody's laughing. Well, but it's because you're insulting half your audience. Huh? Simone Biles is here. She's 4'8" and has 7 gold medals. She's short and has a lot of gold. When she's not competing, she leads a quiet life at the base of a rainbow. It's a leprechaun joke. Is that is that problematic? No, but how many times has Simone Biles been put in the same sentence as her height, right? Like it's not creative, I guess is what I'm saying. Oh, Simone Biles is short. That's the joke. Okay. Who cares how tall she is, right? She's a dominant athlete who has ran the Olympics for the better part of her life. It's just, I don't know. Joe Rogan actually wanted me to be here to host this award show so he could capture Adam Silver because Joe thinks he's an alien. Donald Trump wanted me to be here to capture Juan Soto for the same reason. in some, like, if, here's the problem also. If Shane Gillis did not start off this way, and it looked like he was on the side of people, like for the good of humanity, like I'm going to do some jokes and some satire that really point out what's wrong with the world, then maybe we could have rallied around him in these moments where his satire should have landed a little bit better, right? I mean, for lack of a better word, he's calling out the fact that like Donald Trump is so, bigoted in terms of, the ICE and Hispanics and deportation and all of that, that a guy by the name of Juan Soto, Donald Trump will want him gone just because his name is Juan, right? Like, and in a vacuum, like that's satire, right? But he's been so sexist and like slightly homophobic, and like he's made comments prior to this joke where you're just like, well, now I don't even know, like what, like that could be something that is meaningful, pointed satire, but now I don't know how to read that. Aaron Rodgers did not take the vaccine because he predicted it would be bad for him. Then he joined the New York Jets. Perfect. Right? Like that's one of the first jokes where I don't have to sit here and question, like, are we going to offend anybody? Are we going to like actually make fun of something someone cannot control? That's the other thing. Can Simone Biles control her height? Like can Megan Rapinoe control her gender? Like, Karl Anthony Towns, can he control his personality and that sort of, like, make fun of things that are choices actively made by people that maybe are not great. Like, that's a joke. Like, we're this far in, we finally made a joke. Like, that's the first joke, sports related, that was funny. And if you'll watch, that joke, I believe, in the monologue got the loudest laugh. And he's like, oh, yeah, there we go. Well, yeah, because it's actually funny. And it's actually not offensive in any way, in any stretch. Shedeur Sanders got his jersey retired at Colorado. People are saying it's because of nepotism. No, it's because he went 13-12 over his career and almost won the Alamo Bowl. Again, sorry for scrolling down too far. Like, this is fine. It maybe is a little overdone, but it's pointing out the fact that maybe Shedeur Sanders shouldn't have had his jersey retired for going 500 in his career and losing a bowl game. So that's fine. Big year for the WNBA, right? And so now you've lost the audience because you don't respect the WNBA. Now, keep in mind, Shane Gillis is also the guy that got released from Saturday Night Live because he called Andrew Yang a slur. And it's like, this is the guy we choose to represent us. Like, he clearly has some biases. So, they should have had Miles Leonard come out and just do it, right? I love Caitlin Clark. Caitlin, she has a lot. She and I have a lot in common. We're both whites from the Midwest who have nailed a bunch of threes. Also got a lot of laughs. It's self-deprecating. It's a play on words. He's talking about having sex with ugly women. She's talking about literally hitting a bunch of threes. That's okay. That's funny, right? The crowd loved it. Great. All right, there you go. Lighten up a little bit. This is not serious. Well, yeah. Because it's not serious now because you're being self-deprecating and you're not making fun of and you're not punching down. You're making a joke. Like the audience reaction should be your guide. Oh, they're laughing at that. Oh, they like self-deprecation. They like me not making fun of things people can't control about themselves. Interesting. But then why not? Why not just double down here? When Caitlin Clark retires for the WNBA, she's going to work at Waffle House so she can continue doing what she loves most, fist fighting black women. Like, what? Like that's where we're going with this. Like we're stereotyping that black women are going to fist fight at Waffle Houses. It's just not, like, why do we need to perpetuate a narrative? Why do we need to pigeonhole a sect of people? Well, what are black women good for? They're good for fist fighting in Waffle House. It's just, I don't know. It's just weird. I just don't. I think like it just feels like cheap. right? And again, you're maybe saying you're being too soft, you're being too sensitive. I'm not a black woman. Duh. But I can't help but think, how would a black woman take that? And I'm sure some black women would laugh or not care. But to group in, and to perpetuate a stereotype that has existed in our culture for so long that does not help our culture, I don't agree with it. How about that? Shohei Ohtani couldn't make it tonight. I hope his interpreter didn't bet him to be here. Good satire. Once in a generation talent. No one's ever been able to be pitcher, hitter, and bookie. Fine. Funny. A bookie. Why do I keep scrolling down too far, guys? Maybe I need to, let me fix this so I don't have that error anymore. Okay. Here we go. A bookie is what Bill Belichick reads to his girlfriend before bedtime. The very horny caterpillar, the little engine that could but needed a pill first, and of course the classic goodnight boobs. Fine. You're kind of pointing out the fact that maybe it's bizarre that Bill Belichick is a 73-year-old and he's dating a hot 24-year-old, and people are criticizing him. What happened to this country? We used to be a great country. He won 6 Super Bowls. He's dating a hot 24-year-old. Maybe if you guys won 6 Super Bowls, you wouldn't be sitting next to a fat, ugly dog wife. I don't why is that needed? That's cheap. That's cheap humor. It's not funny. Haha, you have a fat, ugly dog wife. There's no creativity. There's no flair. There's no social commentary. It's just dumb. Actually, it was a good year for me in sports. I went to Notre Dame, went to the national title. Yeah, go Irish. I was at the Eagles Super Bowl. Go Birds. I'm going to tell a story real quick. Halftime, he sees Donald Trump. I will say that his Donald Trump impression was very good. He does a really good Donald Trump impression. Can we stop pretending Donald Trump knows ball? It's a weird thing where they're like, man, he loves sports, but he doesn't know anything about sports. Every time a team comes to visit the White House, he's like, you must be the guy who catches. It's like, look at these guys, big guys, black guys. And that's just when the New York Liberty visited. And I can understand the context, the misdirection here is funny. The irony here is somewhat it's this is actually, I'll give you this. This is a clever joke. But again, who is the punchline? The punchline is the WNBA. The punchline is women and women athletes. And now, we're making fun of them for being women, but now that we have these women who are more manly, let's make fun of that too, right? You can't be a woman. You can't be a manly woman. You can't be anything. And then, again, I'm probably reading into it too much. They didn't visit. That's just a joke. Looked up and saw Trump. We could sneak up and try to meet him. It was pretty easy. It's probably why he keeps getting shot at. We got in there. He makes a weird comment about his daughter, and then his daughter Ivanka walked in, which, by the way, so hot. It's again, that's all Ivanka Trump is to her, just a hot piece of meat. And it's not I'm not saying that that's what he's saying, but it's just if that's the first thing you're going to notice about her, it's just, you're just falling into this same thing. Something about president of soccer. Yeah. This was funny, right? Being in a room with so many legends, Oscar Robertson, Sugar Ray Leonard's here. Yeah, Sugar Ray, you're the man. In 10 years, Jake Paul's going to try to knock you out, right? That's funny. You're making fun of the fact that Jake Paul just fights ex-athletes, ex-boxers. Norm Macdonald, he makes a joke. Congrats, Travis Hunter, winning the Heisman. That's something they can never take away from you unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case they can take it away from you. Well, I see a lot of you don't like me, and that's okay. Well, they don't like you because you walked into a situation where you were supposed to uplift and reward and acknowledge the hard work and dedication that both men and women put in, and half the time you chose to punch down and be dismissive of certain qualities and things. So, you know, a lot of people are actually, how about this? I've seen more people on the opposite side of me saying, oh man, like Shane Gillis is hilarious. Oh man, this crowd has no sense of humor. Oh man, like they're too scared to laugh. Oh man, this was amazing. Like, and it's like, those people probably look exactly like Shane Gillis. Those people would probably call Andrew Yang a slur as well. Like, again, I'm generalizing here a little bit, but it's funny to you because you're not being insulted. Like, do we understand that? It's funny to you because you're on Shane Gillis's team. And, you know, the moral of all of this, if I need to have one, and I don't think I need to have one, the people who understand what I'm saying are going to understand. The people who disagree are they're very much going to disagree, and they're going to be down in the comments letting me know they disagree. But Shane Gillis, if he is as talented and funny as people believe he is, I believe that there is a standard and a level of creativity and class that he should have on a stage such as this. And walking in to this and insulting or belittling or punching, however you want to call it, classes and sex of people, sex with a CTS, not an X, it just feels cheap. And I just kind of was like, I was just thrown off, I guess, at some of the things. So, are you saying it's not funny? That's not what I'm saying. Like, I can recognize that there is humor in here. I can recognize that he did say some funny things, but I also recognize there were, the funny things would be funnier if I didn't have to worry about what was coming out of his mouth next. Like, the audience said everything. The audience is not at fault for not laughing. That's the other thing. People are like, well, shame on the audience. Lighten up. Oh, loosen. You want somebody to come into a place where you're supposed to be celebrated and then make fun of you? And then you're expected to laugh. Weird take. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy who can take his shirt off at any given moment and nobody can stop me. We'll see you next time.